Welcome back. Joining us now is North Central Sports Information Director, Clark Teuscher. Clark, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
So the women's track and field team followed their second place finish at the CCIW Championships with a nice showing at the Dr. Keeler Invitational.
The focus really turns to individual performances at this point, and several season best and personal best performances, particularly in the pole vault, where we had equal to a freshman record by Elizabeth Composto as a personal best by 4 or 5 inches. So one of several improved performances during the past week.
And it seems like these meets are really used by the Cardinals to improve their marks, improve their times, and the competition is much higher with almost, would you say, 70 schools represented at this meet?
With at least one athlete in either the men's or women's meets, we had about 70 schools total represented. Certainly it benefits the team to be competing at home when a lot of schools are traveling quite a distance to get a last meet or two in. And this is the time of year where everybody's kind of looking at their performances and how they rank with the in terms of nationally and getting into national championship meets and trying to improve and picking the events to put their eggs in.
And you mentioned Elizabeth Composto. She's poised right now to make a return trip to the NCAA Outdoor Championships after making the trip for the indoors. How do you think that experience will help her compete, come outdoors?
Well, I think she has plenty of big meet experience throughout the year to help her, not just at the indoor nationals, but certainly some of the outdoor meets that they've gone to as well. And having a coach like Tim Winder in her event that has coached several All-Americans and national champions and can kind of fill her in on what to expect, it certainly gives her an advantage going into a competition.
There's some other Cardinals that right now are poised to make that trip to California, particularly Bree Tolliver in the javelin. She's top 10, and Amanda Cogley's in the 400-meter hurdles.
Amanda, dropped in the standings a little bit this past week. There were several top performances in the 400-meter hurdles, so she's going to have to have another go of it this week at this final meet to try and firm up that mark. Brianna's been one of the top individuals all season in the javelin throw, and we could have another pole vaulter as Brooke Patterson right now is on the kind of on the bubble, so to speak, in terms of being able to get in the pole vault as well.
Brooke Patterson's not the only Cardinal that's really tinkering on that bubble. You also have Chelsea Armstrong in the discus, and as well, Chris Dakota in the 1500.
Yeah, I think Krista has certainly some room to grow in that event. Again, it's a new one for her this year, stepping up from the 800-meter distance. Right now looks pretty good in terms of being able to get into the meet, but you never really know for sure with the new system that they're using for qualifications. Chelsea's been somebody that's been the top thrower on the team for about 3 years now, and certainly would like to close out her career with a trip to a national championship.
And the men's team rolls through the same invitational, and they're really sort of setting the stage now for what they hope to be a repeat national championship.
At least at this point, it looks like they're going to be very, very well represented at the national championships in a variety of events. Not all of those guys are going to be seated all that high, but in the past, it's been proven that several of those guys that get in, the seedings don't typically hold up exactly as they're drawn up because different people are performing well at different times of the year. So we have several guys that have recently improved performances or recently got performances that'll give them a spot in the championship. So certainly good to see here in the last couple of weeks of the season.
And one group on this team that's really going to be represented well at the Nationals, the pole vaulting crew. Right now, 4 guys are in. They could send a 5th. Have you ever seen a dominance like this with a group of pole vaulters?
I don't know if I've ever seen a school get 5 individuals in any event. You're looking at the top 20 guys from around the country, and to think that a 4th of them could come from one school is certainly not something you would expect to encounter at any level. We've got 4 of the top 6 vaulters in Division III right now, which is outstanding on its own. But last week, Frank Wachlinski, a junior on the team, wound up with a personal best performance that could get him into the meet as well. So we're doing the research in our office, trying to figure out if that's ever happened. We haven't been able to come across it yet.
Well, we look forward to watching the Cardinals try and bring home another trophy. Thanks so much for joining us, Clark.
Thank you.
The men's and women's track and field teams will make one last push to qualify for the NCAA National Championships on their home track this weekend as they host the Gregory Invitational. I'm Marc Dahlquist. See you here next week on the Cardinal Report.